Hello, 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 everybody. We're live on the rundown. A2D Live, Facebook Live, StreamYard, all the cool apps that the kids are using nowadays. You can find all the A2D content on all of them, right? We got Frank Besby with us. Right, Frank, you would know all about these cool apps.
Sure.
Yeah, in your profession, you're a teacher. You would know what the kids are using nowadays as far as the apps and all that go. I'm not as hip.
Yes.
I'm not as hip to all that. That's not, I'm not. That's not really me. But I know you're definitely hip to it.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Sure. Okay. I know we're both having a bunch of fun. With the quarantine going on. Have you been watching WrestleMania, Frank? I know WrestleMania is going on right now. Everybody's excited.
I am not watching WrestleMania
Me neither.
because
Somebody's.
I don't have the network.
Oh yeah, well that'd be a problem. As you can see,
Yeah.
I'm growing a quarantine beard. It's not necessarily going too well at the moment. I mean, you can see it's starting to get there. The mustache isn't going too bad, but Frank, you've seen my dad. I mean, he's got
Yes.
like a Jeff Foxworthy mustache, right? Like if how you want to describe it, he's got an awesome mustache.
I would say Jeff Foxworthy mustache.
For those people, yeah, people need to Google Jeff Foxworthy if they don't know. That's the best I can
They
describe
can look on those hip apps that you've been talking
it.
about.
The hip apps like Google and all that, yeah, all the hip apps, and so I figured I'm gonna let it grow out. I might let my hair grow out again. My hair was long for a while when I had broke my collarbone, so you know. We're gonna have a lot of fun, man. There's nothing you gotta create activities when you're quarantined at your house in the manner that we are. What's the rules up there? Do you guys have a stay-at-home order in New Jersey?
Yes, we do have a stay-at-home order in New Jersey. Well, apparently some people are following it, some people are not. I am looking at you, the town of Lakewood, New Jersey. But we are staying at home.
Who?
Lakewood.
Lakeland? Lakewood.
Lakewood.
I was about to say. You're gonna
Yeah,
confuse people. I live in Lakeland, Florida, and you're over here talking about Lakewood, New
I'm talking
Jersey.
about Lakewood. Yes.
We're gonna confuse people. Yeah, we've got a stay-at-home order here too. I mean, depending on where you're at, I mean, it's much easier to stay at home. Like we're more equipped for that down here. There's a lot of people
Oh,
don't
your
live in the middle
governor
of
took a
nowhere.
very long time to shut everything down because of spring breakers.
Listen, it had less to do with the spring. The spring breakers are going to do what they want no matter what. But Florida's a state where there's a lot of areas that, yeah, you hear about Miami and Tampa and Orlando with Disney and all that. But there's areas that literally people live in out in the middle of nowhere, and their closest neighbor isn't, their closest neighbor is 0.2 miles away from them. There's no reason to shut down areas of the state like that because there isn't, it's not overpopulated and congested the way it is in areas in the Northeast. So people, but they did what they had to do. They tried to shut down the beaches initially, and people were still going on the beaches. People found a way to sneak on. So
Yeah.
We've asked the question for the poll question. The NHL playoffs, obviously all the regular seasons would be coming to an end right now. MLB would be starting up. The NBA and the NHL would be just coming to an end and going into their playoffs. And particularly, I don't really watch a lot of hockey, but when it's playoff hockey, I'm glued to the TV. I can't leave the TV. So the question is the NHL playoffs, is that what you're going to miss the most during this time? At this time of year, I know, obviously the final four would be just wrapping up and things like that. But at this particular time of year, right now, over the next few weeks, is the NHL playoff something that you would be missing the most as a sports fan? Agree or disagree? Frank, you're a big hockey guy. Would you miss the playoffs maybe more than anything else as a sports fan right now?
I miss everything right now. I miss the Final Four. I miss the NBA season. I'm missing what's supposed to be the opening week of baseball. I'm really excited to see what Joe Girardi is going to bring to the table as the manager of the Phillies. I miss my jobs. I miss, actually doing nice things for once during this quarantine.
See, I miss you being fat because that would have been a perfect opportunity when you said the things that come to that we bring to the table. It was a perfect opportunity for me to have a joke, and now I can't
Well,
make the joke because you're
well,
not fat
that was,
anymore, so
that
you
was
ruined it.
4 years ago.
When they as a well, I listen. To me, you will always be the funny fat guy. It doesn't matter how much weight that you lose.
Okay.
To a lot of us, you will always be the funny fat guy. And of course, you had to go with the Stanley Cup playoffs being the thing that you missed the most. The other idea I threw out, the Pete Rose idea, you didn't want to go with, and I have a feeling it's because you don't like controversy, and you knew there'd be
No,
a lot of
I
controversy with
just
that
think
idea.
that like talking about Pete Rose while we're in the middle of quarantine. I mean,
Well, I mean, did you see some of the poll questions that were going around as of late?
well, of course.
I'm just saying. So, I, I figured nothing was off limits at this point.
Uh, I don't know.
You've got all the major sports seasons going, or that should be going on right now. They would all be going on pretty much at the same time. Um, what you want to talk about anything that's going on with any of the major sports seasons? We can do that. Obviously, we've got the NFL draft that'll be coming up, all the combine stuff, all the reports that come out of the combine, on all the new stuff that you can find from every schmuck reporter out there that's found a way to be there and write something. You can find probably reports on every prospect in the NFL draft at this point. People have nothing to do. So they're probably sitting at home. Their quarantine activity is to look up every report you could possibly find of a prospect, good or bad. Uh, and a lot of fun could be had with that. NASCAR is made a lot of announcements as far as they could get going Mother's Day weekend
Let's go.
without spectators, but NASCAR is a sport where how many times have you watched a race and they're like, damn, there's like not anybody at the fucking track anyway, so why does it matter? They could actually not have people at the track and still go along. Most of their money's made from their TV deal. Any of the sports, and the things that are going on in the sports, we could talk about. We're going to have a Sporkle competition, me and you. Sporkle, for people that don't know, that's one of those apps these kids use nowadays, right, Frank? As we were talking about earlier.
I don't know. Well, all the kids are talking about their spyware. I mean, TikTok.
TikTok. Oh, see, I have no. What the hell is? Explain to me TikTok. I've got no idea what TikTok is.
It's basically the Gen Z version of Vine. Remember Vine?
I remember Vine.
All right, so imagine that, but put in a bunch of Gen Zers, and it's made by a Chinese spyware company. So basically, the Chinese are spying on you.
They're not spying on me. I don't have TikTok.
I don't have it either.
Although they might still be spying on us. Who knows?
In this quarantine, I won't be surprised.
Says the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best. I miss hockey. This blows. Yeah, I for one am always glued to the TV during the NHL playoffs.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden I'm the biggest hockey fan. Remember that Predators game a couple years ago that went to like 4 overtimes and Mike Fisher won at 6 in the morning?
That was a great game.
I never went to sleep at any point. Stayed up the entire time. I can't remember the last time I stayed up, watched a whole sporting event that lasted that long. Eileen says TikTok's essentially bullshit.
The Phillies game that went 18 innings.
Yeah, the Raul Ibanez won it. That one against the Reds.
When Wilson Valdez was pitching.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was a fun game.
I
remember that game. See that would go into one of the other things that we've been talking about, the quarantine sports classics. Think about the games you could watch, the things you want to do. You're quarantined at home, you need sports, so the games you can YouTube, and the games you can look up or sit at home, and the games they've been playing on MLB Network and the NFL Network. They played the Mike Piazza home run game from the first MLB game after 9/11 on ESPN the other day. Like games like that. Like they've had all these, classic sports games on over the past week or so. name some of your sports classics that you've been watching to pass the time during this quarantine. You know, we'll take comments like that. You know, we talked about the NFL draft, so all of it. You know, Eileen says, "Are they still airing the NFL draft? Is there even one?" Yes,
Yes,
they're
there
doing
is.
it from the studio, correct?
They're doing it from the studios, and I believe that the GMs are going to do it from their homes. So
The
they are.
GMs are.
So I believe that like the GMs and the scouting departments, they're gonna do like I guess they're gonna do like Zoom meetings, I guess, or Google Hangouts,
It's
and
gonna be
they
like this. This is how we're gonna do it. They're gonna
it's
announce
probably
picks
gonna
like
be like
this.
that, and the GM, I guess, will send it over to Roger, and then Roger announces picks.
Frank, you have a lot more of a GM look to you. I kind of look like the guy that like holds the. You know, I don't even know what I am. I might be the guy that's like bringing Roger Goodell his cup of coffee or something. I've got the look of the guy that stands on the sideline. I'm the ball boy. Like that's I
Oh,
literally look
okay.
like that skinny guy. You have a much more of a corporate look to you, Frank.
I
So if
know.
you were the GM of the Eagles, who were you taking at 21?
Oh, who am I taking at 21? Well, I'm still gonna stick to my guns, and I'm gonna go with a wide receiver. I'm hoping that it's gonna be Justin Jefferson from Louisiana State.
Do you think Jefferson can play outside? Because that's my only concern with Jefferson is that if you're drafting him, you're committing to him playing in the slot, which is fine,
Yeah.
but that means Greg Ward probably becomes your fourth receiver at that point.
I mean, from what I've seen from Greg Ward, I mean, despite the amount of games that he has had, I've been a fan of Greg Ward since he came out of Houston. I'm glad that he's getting some reps as a starter in the league. We'll see what happens with what you can do with Greg Ward and hopefully Justin Jefferson. I mean, the draft is still a couple weeks away. We might trade up and get a guy like Jerry Judy or CeeDee Lamb. But
T. Higgins could be there at 20.
T.
You think he could
Higgins,
fall to
Henry
21?
Ruggs. But everybody's talking about what are we going to do if Judy, Lamb, Ruggs, and Jefferson are all taken before we get to 21. It has, that situation has happened, and I'll be fine with trading down to get a guy like Denzel Mims.
I love
Or
Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims is actually might be my favorite wide receiver prospect in
now,
the draft. I think
now,
I have a little bit of like you have you come across certain prospects you just kind of have a man crush on, and you kind of like you love everything about this guy, and you kind of becomes the guy that like you maybe put a little bit too much focus on. Denzel Mims is that guy for me. I think he's got the chance to be an absolute stud. And I think he fits everything we would need in a receiver. One of his best skills is pinpointing the high ball and being able to go up and catch it with his hands. Obviously, something if Carson can struggle, it's passes giving a little airmailing a little bit and sailing on him. And a guy like Mims being able to go up and snag passes like that would be very effective. He's proven he can play on the outside. He can win 50-50 balls and contested catches. I'm actually cool with taking Mims at 21. That's how much I like him. I know there's a lot of people that would say they think that's too high, but
I think that's a little bit too high for me at 21. I would be open to trading down.
I'm cool with that too. If you trade down to like 27 or 28, you talking about trading out of the first round, or you talking about trading till like later in the first round?
There was a trade down proposal. I got to find it first. I remember this was on Wednesday's show.
Yeah, I know you guys talked about it on the fix. I had talked about it on the rundown a few weeks back.
Okay,
about potentially
this was the
hypothetical idea.
Trade. The proposed trade was we trade our 21st and our 103rd pick in the draft. So our first and our fourth, trading down to get the 34th and the 43rd pick. Would you do it? That means we would get 3 second-round picks.
3 second-round picks. Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of that. I feel like you could probably get 2 receivers and a linebacker in there. There's also the idea that people talk about the idea of taking a guy like Patrick Queen, at 21 or something like that. I'm not opposed to that either. If you can get an impact defensive player of some kind,
and that was
particularly one of those linebackers.
I know Ralph. I know Ralph mentioned he wanted Patrick Queen. I'm also in the Patrick Queen camp as well. If they're going to go defense in the first round, it's probably going to be Patrick Queen or any other linebacker that is remaining or projected to be in the first round. I know Ralph and I were both pleading to get a linebacker in this draft. So I'd be fine if we got Queen as well. I mean, we can still find our wide receivers. It's a deep class, but
I agree. That's where we have to hit. Howie's got to prove he can hit on a receiver later in the draft, which he hasn't been able to do. Right. So that's something that concerns me. My ideal scenario, I honestly think, if you could find a way to say trade 21 and 23, and instead of getting like 34 and 43, I'm cool with 34 and 43, and then we'd also have what's the other 57 or whatever is the other second round.
Our other pick in the second is the 53rd.
53rd, so it'd be 34, 43, and 53. Yeah, I mean, if a guy like Mims is there at 34, I would love the idea of taking a guy like Mims and then maybe a guy like Reagor at 53. And then you maybe try to find your best player available at 43, right. Something like that.
The one name people really wanted was Jeremy Chin from Southern Illinois. His stock completely rose from the combine and looking at his game tape, and he did have a pre-draft interview with the Eagles. I mean, he wasn't physically in the offices due to all this quarantine, but I really like Jeremy Chin. I would love to have him as a backup, possibly your next safety once McLeod is either retired or on another team.
You would be taking him where, in the third round? Because I don't.
He's a second round guy.
You think he's climbing all the way up to the second round now?
Yeah, his stock has completely risen.
See, I don't know if I would spend a second round pick on him.
Now, he could be gone by 53. That's what some people are saying. That he might be gone by 53. So if you really want to go defense and
I think at 53, I think at 53 they're probably really targeting either Hamler or Jalen Reagor.
I think Hamler would be there at 53. Reagor could be gone earlier, possibly in the second round.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. If that trade with 34 or 43, now you have a chance to get Reagor, you have a chance to get Mims, you have a chance to get one of those linebackers maybe in there. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential there. Obviously, you could also do what we talked about. Where you draft a guy like Patrick Queen, then you have a chance to get a guy like you could get Hamler at 53 and a guy like Chase Claypool, from Notre Dame. Yeah. In like the fourth round or something like that, you know what I mean? You throw the fourth round, and that's when that's a good time to take a shot on a guy like that that's big and strong and reminds you a lot of, pick somebody that's that's in that class. Everybody's going to go with the Megatron comparisons, but those are unfair. Another guy, T. Higgins. T. Higgins really reminds me a lot of Plaxico Burress, and. If T. Higgins is there at 21, I think I'm pulling the trigger on Higgins. If both Higgins and Jefferson are there at 21, I think I'm pulling the trigger on T. Higgins at 21. I think he's proven he can play outside. The 6'4", 215, the big and strong. Like I said, he really reminds me. Everything about him on the field looks a lot like Plaxico Burress, in my opinion. I would pull the trigger on Jefferson. I think he's polished enough to step into your offense right now if you scheme him in here correctly, which scares the crap out of me because people could say whatever they want about how much they love Dougie P, and I love Dougie P too, but he hasn't proven that he's the best at scheming players into the system the way that they should probably properly be be schemed in. I don't know why that was so hard to get out. He has struggled to incorporate players into this offense, at times when probably they shouldn't have. Golden Tate comes to mind and guys like that. Now how much how much blame goes to Dougie P for that, and how much blame goes to other offensive coaching staff members. Who knows? But it's pretty much all on Dougie, on Doug Peterson this year. A lot of those guys are gone, the Mike Rose and all that. So that's on him now. But I think a guy like Jefferson, if you put him in the slot right away, has a chance to step in and make an immediate impact. The thing that scares me with him is that they might try, he could play all over the field. The guy had 2 catches outside last year, 2.
Right.
Now I know Jerry Jeudy, not Jerry Jeudy, who's the other guy that played for LSU on the outside? LSU had another good receiver. They had multiple receivers, and one of their outside guys was for whatever reason I can't even think of his name right now, but they had they had guys that were playing outside. Jefferson wasn't one of them. He was playing in the slot, and he had like 113 catches, and 111 of them were in the slot.
Is it Jamar Chase?
Yeah, it might be. There's a couple guys they have. I think they obviously had a lot of weapons. Burrow was throwing to. Burrow was throwing to a lot of guys, but yeah, my concern with Jefferson is that they'll take him and be, he can play outside. We did that same thing with Aguilar. Aguilar was in the slot in college, and we brought him into the system and tried to get him to play outside, and he couldn't play outside.
He couldn't play outside, and then we tried moving him everywhere, and that didn't work.
Finally, we moved him back into the slot, and he had his best year in 2017 for us from the slot. But sometimes guys that play from the slot need to play from the slot, and if you're drafting Jefferson, I don't want to put us in a position where now you have a guy where he has to play from the slot, because then you also have a guy in Greg Ward who established himself there. Are you just going to commit to Greg Ward not playing now, or he's going to be your 4th receiver? How's all that going to work? I don't know how all that works. I guess you don't care if you think Jefferson's that good. You just say, the hell with it. You're drafting the guy if you think he can make that much of an impact. But it does scare me to take a guy at 21 that's just a slot guy. I don't know if you spent that's. People don't seem to find it as crazy as I do. I find it a little bit crazy to draft a guy at 21 or draft a receiver at 21 that you don't think can play outside, that you think is strictly going to play in the slot. That concerns me a little. So I don't know, but we need playmakers one way or another.
Of course.
We need to find them, whether it's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth round.
You still need a lot of holes to fill in this draft.
Yeah, sure.
My one thing is I hope we don't have a repeat of the last 2 years where we had 5 draft picks. I'm very satisfied that we have 8, but I'm worried that 8 might go down to 7 and 7 might go down to 5, and we get.
I don't think they would do that this year, particularly because how he stated.
I don't think it's going to happen this year, but it's something to watch out on, especially when you get to the last of those picks, because I don't think we have a seventh round pick.
How he has stated they want to get younger, and I think a lot of
exactly. So I think he's going to stay committed to the draft.
And like I said, you could if you have those picks set up correctly for you, you could realistically hit. Like say your first 4 picks are in the first round, you go Patrick Queen. Second round, you go Hamler, KJ Hamler, Chase Claypool's either the 3rd or the 4th round pick, and then you also find a way to get another defensive player in there somewhere. Those are your first 4 picks. You're probably pretty satisfied. Say it's like an Antoine Winfield Jr. Isn't that a guy from Minnesota, like one of those defensive backs or one of those safeties, whatever? That's a big deal. That's right there, kind of probably a guy that would be after Chin's off the board, a guy you're taking.
Yeah.
If you got a guy like that in the 3rd round, say those are your first four picks there, you're going Patrick Queen, KJ Hamler, Winfield Jr. from Minnesota, and then Chase Claypool. You're probably pretty excited about that. You're like, hey, I really like those first 4 picks there.
Right.
They've got a lot of potential to work out and make an impact for you.
Yeah. There's one linebacker prospect that I do like if we try to get him in the later rounds. Shaq Quarterman from the U.
Okay. Yeah.
I like Shaq Quarterman. He's got a lot of moxie. He's
a little bit undersized, right? That's why he's probably going to be a later round pick. He's only 225 pounds or so.
Yeah, they have him in the mid rounds. He still has a lot of work. He still has some work that he needs to do. But I think with a guy like Schwartz, I think he could easily coach him up. He's hard hitting. He's got a lot of moxie. So I'm
cool with that.
I would take a look at it. I would take a look at him in the fourth.
Definitely a guy like that, especially if you feel like you can get a couple. Like again, if you go Hamler and then Chase Claypool, you feel like okay, we've got a couple receivers. Now let's see if you can find guys like Quarterman. You could find a couple different guys that you feel like can step in and provide you some depth at a weak position like linebacker. Obviously, is a position of need. Yeah. But that's where a guy like if you could draft a guy like Queen at 21, you immediately improve a wide receiver and linebacker, your two biggest positions of need right now. You can argue all day long about which one's more important, but you're immediately improving your linebacker position, and then a guy like Hamler fits what you want to do here. Greg says Moxie talk. Greg would know all about that, right? Greg says he does miss playoff hockey. He just misses normal life in general. He disagrees to the poll. But yeah, a guy like Hamler could fit what you want to do, a guy that can stretch the field. Claypool's a big, strong possession guy that has a lot of potential. And what's always great about the draft is the day of the draft and things like that. Things always come out like with the for whatever reason his name slipped my mind too. The shit from the guy that initially went to the Dolphins all those few years back, and now it's with the Texans. They traded him. The Laremy Tunsil with the marijuana gas mask that he's wearing. Things like that always come out the day of the draft, and guys end up falling. Yeah. Who's to say a guy like Denzel Mims doesn't absolutely free fall, and all of a sudden he's there at 52, and you're like, hey, I really love the idea. You'll take Denzel Mims at 52 all day long.
That's what we've brought up on the picks. Is like if somehow, some way, like Judy somehow falls into our laps, it would be like, it's probably gonna be like a Laremy Tunsil moment. Where
I think Jerry Judy falling into the lap. I think that's a little bit like that's you. It's almost like a pipe dream. I think it's a little bit of a pipe dream of him falling into your lap. Right. Same thing with a guy like what's his name? Fucking from Alabama. Everybody wants to trade up and go get the really fast guy, Higgs or whatever the fuck his name is. Why can't I remember people's names all of a sudden?
Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs. Everybody wants to trade up and go get guys like that. Right. I think either one of them falling to us is probably far fetched. But a guy like T. Higgins falling to you, say that's who's to say that's not going to happen? Who's to say things like that don't transpire on draft day? And like you said, you never know. I mean, I guess it could come out that Jerry Judy was beating up some hooker in the back of a New Orleans parking lot and, some, restaurant somewhere, and he free falls, and all of a sudden he goes from being a top 10 pick to he falls to 22. He gets caught stealing crab legs like Jameis Winston or something. Who knows? But, I don't anticipate things like that happening, but definitely guys that are those guys are really good prospects. Guys that are fringe prospects, the guys that you look at and you say, the guy could be a late first round pick, but all of a sudden something happens. Something comes out the day of the draft, and he goes from being a late first round pick, then all of a sudden he's going to fall till late in the second round. Just because that's how teams do it. When you're considered, I guess, a can't miss prospect in the way that Judy and Henry Ruggs are, not that they can't miss, but if you're the level of prospect that they're being considered, I find it hard for them to fall to us unless something really, really drastic happens.
Yeah.
Disagree to the poll. Bill Middlebrook says, disagree to the poll. I missed the NBA and the Celtics raising banner 19. Okay, Bill. Good luck. Celtics raising banner 19. Were the Celtics going to raise banner 19, Frank?
I mean,
be honest.
Yeah, for a second there, when I was reading that, I'm like, banner 19. I know they have 17 titles, but
maybe he miscounted. But who?
or they're retiring the number 19, but that's already retired by Don Nelson. So
yeah, well,
okay.
Were they going to win the NBA championship?
I mean, they'll probably cause. They probably would have caused a fit in the playoffs, but you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. To quote Mr. Garnett, anything is possible. Yeah.
Interesting. That was your Kevin Garnett impression?
No, because I don't want to scream. I don't want to bother what's going on in your apartment.
No, I told you I've got headphones in. The only thing that she can hear is me talking.
Well, unless if I scream really loud and you accidentally rip the.
I want to see something crazy. Look, there's a Vikings blanket here.
You crumb.
Greg used to be a Vikings fan. My brother.
Oh, yeah, okay.
My middle brother used to be a Vikings fan back when, like, the late 90s when we were little kids, when Randall Cunningham was their quarterback and Dante Culpepper was the quarterback.
Yes.
Because Greg, you met Greg. He's fucking.
Oh, I know Greg.
For whatever reason, he's weird. Yeah, he's weird like that. He's a Vikings fan. That's a problem. You can't be a Vikings fan. I don't care what era it is. You want to play some Sporkle quizzes as we continue the talk?
I will play a quiz.
As we continue to talk all types of NFL stuff, major sports seasons. I got some sports news that we can talk. Yeah, all different things and announcements. Obviously, the president has announced he thinks NFL season should start on time. The Basketball Hall of Fame was announced yesterday. Wasn't it?
Good class. Good class.
I think the class. Yes, it was. So, yeah, things like that, Some of these quizzes on Sporkle.
All right.
Like, you got NBA, like, no winning seasons in the 2000s. Like, that sounds like a fun one. Make fun of all the, and you never know what conversation might come up from taking one of these quizzes and doing it as we play.
Let's go with that one. Is it all sports or?
Yeah, we're going to do all sports, of course. This is,
okay.
For right now, while we're on the air doing a show, of course, because that's the way. There's only 3 answers? That's not fun. Wait, so you tell me only 3 teams?
Because of teams with that had a non-winning record throughout the entire decade, I guess.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I thought there'd be more than that. I thought there'd be more than that.
What are the answers on there?
There's 2 MLB teams and 1 NHL team. From 2000 to 2009. What do you think? The Pirates were still really bad at that time.
Yeah,
I bet you it's got to be the Pirates.
The Clippers.
Oh, it wasn't the Clippers. There's no.
Throughout the entire no.
Every season from 2000 through 2009.
Well, you're gonna put Sacramento. Sacramento's gonna be in there, not in there. That's I don't like that quiz. Change it.
There's 2 MLB and an NHL. You don't like that one. Change it.
I don't like it. If they have can you name all the teams that have non-winning seasons?
David Raska says, "What's up, WrestleMania?" I'm wondering what's going on with WrestleMania. Somebody keep us up to date. I don't have the network either, so I can't watch it, and I don't really feel like a W person now have any interest. WWE, I heard the Boneyard match was really good, and I saw some highlights from it. It seemed really cool.
And Zach is reconnecting. There we go.
Was that the Strowman Goldberg match lasted like 3 minutes? Like, there's just things they continue to do that make you go,
Goldberg match.
What? Scratch your head.
Yeah.
The part of the reason I stopped watching WWE. Let's see. This is part of. I guess we should have seen that coming, but part of the reason I stopped watching WWE and started watching AEW was Yeah, the stupid like WWE started doing stuff that just makes you go, why? Like Goldberg winning the WWE Championship from the Fiend. Like, why? For what reason is Goldberg beating the Fiend? Like, what's like the Fiend is like the hottest character in professional wrestling, and they have
All right.
Goldberg bury
So
him.
here's my theory with Goldberg burying Bray Wyatt. All right, so apparently
he's not Bray Wyatt, he's the Fiend.
Whatever, he's Bray Wyatt to me. So
you're like John Cena. He's just Bray Wyatt in a mask.
It's Bray Wyatt with a mask and puppets. Or if I can go a little further, it's Husky Harris with a mask, with puppets, and a longer beard.
I can't wait for their Firehouse Fun Fly match. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
What is it? Firefly Funhouse. Yeah, the Firefly Funhouse match.
I hope the puppets get a spot. Awesome. So,
here we go. You want to go?
Here's my theory with why Goldberg won. So, when they were announcing like the Saudi Arabia shows, apparently like one of the princes that was speaking at events, and they wanted superstars like they wanted Scott Hall, they wanted Kevin Nash, they wanted Eddie Guerrero, who's been dead for at least 10 years. They wanted all these deceased superstars come back. They're like, all right, here's Goldberg.
Who wanted that?
One of the princes or something.
When they went to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, because like.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. We're going to go Baseball Hall of Fame members.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to name all the Baseball Hall of Fame members.
Okay.
And just start yelling out random Hall of Famers.
Sure. All right. How much?
Find a way to bring this Pete Rose conversation in here one way or another.
Yeah. All right, then let's get the obvious ones out. Let's type in the last name Johnson and Smith. That's going to fill in at least a chunk of those spots. And I think I lost Zach. Oh, never mind. He's back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I keep going in and out, I guess.
You're going in and out. What's going on with that Florida Wi-Fi?
You know, I can't sit near the router because that's in the other room and Brandy needs it. It's not even the proper. What the hell? That's not. Can we connect to the right internet, please? Good Lord.
Uh-oh.
That's my neighbor's internet. Why are we connected to my neighbor's internet?
Maybe your neighbor's too kind to let you borrow their internet.
Hold on.
He is reconnecting. He is reconnecting. Reconnect. Zach is reconnecting.
There we go. Are we back? I think we're back.
You're still frozen. You're still frozen.
I'm not. Am I frozen?
You're frozen on my end.
I'm not frozen. Not on my end, I'm not.
Well, you appear frozen to me.
Oh, well. Can you hear me at least?
I can hear you.
I'm still frozen?
Here, hit the stop camera button so you can disappear. And you know what? Let me remove you from the stream real quick so I can get you back on. Hold on. All right.
We're having technical issues.
Now you're a black screen.
Now, what do you mean I'm a black screen?
On my end, you're a black screen.
I don't understand any of this.
It's saying that you're reconnecting, but I don't know what's going on. So
yeah, I mean, I'm connected. I'm here.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
What to tell you.
I don't know either.
Night when I tried to go live on a AM and the PM. Am I still a black screen?
You're still a black screen.
Oh my God! So how are we going to fix this?
I don't know because I can't end the stream while we're live.
I need to do something to make it work.
Well,
how are we going to fix it?
I don't know.
Do you want me to stop my camera?
Stop your camera. All right. Now, start it up again.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're still black. So
how is it a black screen? That doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for it to be black.
Just keep going.
I can see me, and you can see me.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for it to not be working.
I don't know.
Is this better? Is that better?
It's not doing anything. Just get to the quiz.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to do a quiz if I'm going to have a black screen.
Well, you can just tell me if it's right or not.
Try restarting my browser. That seems like a terrible idea.
No, that's a terrible idea. You're going to get.
At least you can hear me.
I can hear you, and everybody can hear you.
I wonder how many people can or can't see me. I'm going to have to go back and watch this live stream.
Maybe I can't see you because we can't see him. So.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Maybe you're the only one that can't see me, and everybody else can. Maybe the people can tell us. Can you guys see me at home? Are you able to see me?
See ya, Bill.
Peace, boys. Be safe. I guess that means he can't see me.
Well, he has to go.
Oh. Yeah, something is seriously going on with my internet.
I don't know. You need to talk to Governor DeSantis about that.
I need to talk to Governor DeSantis. Why, you think it's him? Is he doing it?
I think he's doing it I think an alligator probably came over and wrecked your Ethernet cable.
Is that what happened here?
And then we got. This person, we got mystery
match switch legend field. I don't know who the fuck is this person. Are we being hacked?
No.
Who is it? Hi, boo. Hey, girl. What's up? I don't know who that is, but I mean, hey.
Hi.
What's going on?
Okay.
Can you see me now?
No, I still can't see you.
This
get
sucks.
To the quiz. Just get to the quiz.
I'm trying to play, but it won't let me play it. I don't know what's going on with my internet.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
all right, next topic.
Next topic.
Next topic.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. You're the host of the show.
What's some of the sports classics you've been watching since as you've been locked up in quarantine? There's been a lot of stuff been coming on ESPN and all that.
Stuff's been coming on ESPN, but I haven't really been watching much lately.
You haven't been YouTubing all types of cool shit,
really?
I was watching.
Hey, there
I was
you
watching
are.
baseball tonight.
Now
I'm back.
You did it.
Oh, okay. I'm back now.
You're back.
Yeah, interesting.
But now you're frozen. But I can still hear you. You did.
I don't know why I'm frozen. No, I didn't do anything. I just kept talking. I guess my internet, decided to work, and then it doesn't work, and then it works, and then it doesn't work. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, all I know is, I've been YouTubing old Baseball Tonight episodes and things like that. I'm a mess.
Yeah.
It's Baseball Hall of Famers. So you just got to start typing in names that would guys that are Hall of Famers, Jones and Johnson and guys like that.
Yeah, Jones, Johnson, Smiths, Griffey's. Well, even though there's one Griffey.
There's only one Jones in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if
Chipper.
I believe that. Yeah, it's the only.
It's Chipper.
That's the only Jones. That sounds crazy. There's multiple Johnsons in the Hall of Fame.
Of course. All right, and then
Johnson, Randy Johnson. Is Randy Johnson the greatest left-handed pitcher of all time?
Of course, he's one. He's of course him and Lefty are the two best. Steve Carlton, yeah.
Him and Lefty, that's fair. Yeah, I would say it's still Steve Carlton, but Randy Johnson's the only guy you could put in the greatest lefty of all time conversation with him.
I mean, I grew up
How
with.
is this quiz says it says Randy Johnson's not a Hall of Famer? Is that true?
It's probably not updated.
No, it says 2020. What? Randy
Know.
Johnson's not a Hall of Famer yet? I'm going to lose my mind if Randy Johnson is somehow not a Hall of Famer at this
Maybe
point.
you got to type in his full name?
Maybe, but what class? Yeah, he's got to be a Hall of Famer. Am I still frozen?
You are still frozen.
You're such a bitch.
Ain't my fault.
303 and 166 at a 3.29 ERA and almost 5,000 strikeouts. Yeah, he was inducted in 2015. I knew he was inducted. Yeah, I guess we do got to try to type in his full name. Let's try that. Randy Johnson. Did you see that? There was that thing going around that Randy Johnson almost got traded to the Phillies in like the 92 offseason or something to be a teammate.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You did have to type in his whole name. Crap, that sucks because there's going to be a lot of Johnsons. What other Johnsons are in the Hall of Fame? I just keep typing in Johnson and more Johnsons pop up. So I'm just going to type in Johnson after Johnson after Johnson. It's a bunch of Johnsons.
Too many Johnsons.
Sounds like a show on like one of those like creepy channels like Seven Little Johnsons or whatever. Like isn't that the name of the show with all the midget people?
Yeah, I guess.
It's kind of funny. Sounds like a funny show. How many Johnsons can you fit in one house? But like we're talking about a bunch of assholes, What's that's what Johnson. The other term Johnson stands for, right? Is like a jackass person, right?
A Johnson.
Yeah, if you call somebody like you tell somebody to like, well, I guess it doesn't.
No, the other.
You tell somebody to suck on your Johnson, doesn't it?
No, that's what another term for Johnson is. It's that. Mm-hmm.
It's that.
It's that.
It's that. Frank. Remember, you're the only one people can see, so you've got to carry you got to be able to carry that.
I'm not saying the word. I'm leaving up to the viewers to make their own mind. The
viewers to use their own imagination.
Use your own imagination.
Don't tell the viewers to use their imagination. That might not be a good idea.
Well, I'm not saying the word, so.
If they don't know what a Johnson is at this point,
then read a book.
Well, can you get in trouble, Frank? Is that the problem? Like if you say stuff that's too inappropriate and like the school were to hear it?
Yes.
You can get in
That's
trouble.
Why I don't say bad words. That's why I rarely say bad words. Oh, now it changed again. Now you're drinking a Pepsi.
I am. So finally they can see me?
Now it's frozen that you look like you're drinking something else because it's not showing the Pepsi logo.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know either.
This is very disappointing that, my internet is this bad.
And I don't know either.
It is what it is, I guess. Let's see what other Hall of Famers we can name. What other Hall of Famers?
We're talking about baseball Hall of Fame Philly fan.
Yes. He says, what type of what Hall of Famers are we talking about? Is that what he asked?
He's asking about Jimmy Johnson.
Isn't the Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, he is. I did see that. Okay.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
He is, yeah. He just got inducted this year. But yeah, this is MLB Hall of Famers. We're just having fun playing a Sporkle game because this is what you got to do. When it's a quarantine, you find quarantine activities. One of them is like, to have fun playing a game like this. Go to Sporkle.com. They've got all types of fun quizzes. Yeah. NASCAR. Have you seen what NASCAR's been doing, by the way, Frank, with the
virtual
racing? Yeah, the virtual racing. Some pretty cool stuff. That they had 1.3 million viewers last week for that race on Sunday that they did, the virtual race on Sunday that they did.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Chrome.
Am I back?
No. Chrome
Chrome is
typed in.
watching WrestleMania. What's going on in WrestleMania right now, Chrome? What match is going on, and how's the second day going?
He's probably back to watching WrestleMania.
Probably back to watching WrestleMania. Probably. Anyway, so let's go with Joe Morgan. He was a Hall of Famer on that Reds team. Gary Carter's one of your dad's personal favorites, right?
No.
I thought you said your dad loved Gary Carter.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Well, that's kind of awful.
Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench? Well, yeah, of course, I got Johnny Bench.
Carl
What's gonna be easy is I'm gonna have all these guys that are like clearly like the new generation guys.
All right.
That like I remember watching playing. Ted Williams, of course, and there's got to be multiple Williams in the Hall of Fame too, right?
Yeah.
No, it says there's not. It's interesting. Grover Cleveland Alexander. See, that's a crazy name. We got two different guys from the Cleveland Indians. They were inducted in 77 and 78.
All right. I got a nice quick one for you.
What's that?
All right. Can you name the cities of the last 9 NCAA First Four tournaments?
That sounds very confusing, and no, I can't. I couldn't even come close, nor do I give a damn.
There's 9 of them. It's really easy.
There's 9 of them, and it's really easy.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but go ahead.
Because I answered this in about 30 seconds.
Did you answer it in about 30 seconds?
Yes, because it's one of those one at a time things.
Yes. "1995, Richie Ashburn and Mike Schmidt were both inducted into the Hall of Fame.
All right, I did it.
In 1980, who played for Philadelphia? It would have gotten inducted in 1980. That had to have been somebody from like way back in the day.
Jim Bunning.
Maybe it was Jim Bunning. That's actually a great guess. It was not Jim Bunning, but he is on the list, obviously. Smokey Joe Williams is on the list, and I had no idea.
Did you type in Jimmy Fox?
Oh, that's another good one. Of course, and Hank Greenberg's from that era.
Andre Dawson.
Andre Dawson, yeah, is another good one. Hank Greenberg. You got all types of old school guys, obviously, that are like, you know, if you don't put them on the list, like what type of baseball historian are you, right?
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth and Joe DiMaggio, obviously. You see, Tom Dempsey obviously died today. People are probably like, who the hell's that?
Well, I mean,
a lot of people are probably, who the hell is that? But I always remember Tom Dempsey watching one of those old like NFL films videos growing up where they talk about him kicking the 63-yard field goal. So I knew who he was. He was living in a old folks home in New Orleans or something, they said. Is Walter Johnson a Hall of Famer? Of course Walter Johnson's a Hall of Famer, Philly fan. Considered by some old school baseball people to be the greatest pitcher of all time, actually. Andre Dawson, you said, of course. Kirby Puckett.
Ron Santo.
Ron Santo. Didn't he not make the Hall of Fame?
He's in the Hall of Fame.
And people like Cubs fans are mad about it. Like,
They've been trying to get him on there for a while.
I thought he didn't make the Hall of Fame, and people were mad.
He did.
Jim Bunning in 1996. They also had somebody going in 94. I don't know. Who the hell were those guys? Who were some of our old school? The hell? Some of our old school baseball guys, like from way back.
I mean, I
like
typed
in the 50s. So those 50s players.
I typed in Robin Roberts.
Robin Roberts. Was he a Hall of Famer?
Robin Roberts is a Robin Roberts is a Hall of Famer. Class of 76.
76. Interesting. A lot of Negro League guys in there.
Yeah, that's
Smokey Joe Williams was one of them. See, I didn't even know. Like that's a cool name. That's a great baseball name there. Smokey Joe Williams.
Me and him, Cool Papa Bell.
Satchel Paige obviously is like,
right.
One of the coolest of that whole generation, playing in his 50s and stuff. Satchel Paige. Don Drysdale. Those Dodgers teams were filthy with their pitching.
Pee Wee Reese, Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, they were dirty in general. Munson. Thurman Munson's not a Hall of Famer?
He is not. He could have been.
Kind of nonsense. Type of nonsense, I tell you.
He could have been in the Hall of Fame.
How many Yankees fans could we piss off if we to the poll? Tom says to the poll, I disagree. He's missing it all. So it's not just the NHL playoffs that he's missing right now. I think I'm missing the NHL playoffs more than anything else, because what else would be going on? I mean, I know baseball, basketball, and all that, but like baseball is like it would just be getting underway. For me, most of my attention would be fixated on the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs at the moment. That's where most of my attention would be, and then probably NASCAR on Sundays. Look at all the Minnesota Twins players that are on this list.
Harmon Killebrew,
yeah, guys like that. People are like, who's Harmon Killebrew?
The logo.
Careful, Frank. You're gonna confuse some of the viewers.
What? That's who it's modeled after.
I'm aware, but we don't. Not everybody here is aware of who some of these people are.
I know.
But we're here to educate,
I guess.
Ricky Henderson. You're an educator, Frank. Don't act like you're not. Yogi Berra. All the Yankees players. I mean, good Lord, this should be easy to come up with here. You would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how many Yankees fans here could we make mad if we said Derek Jeter's overrated?
I don't think that would fly.
He is slightly overrated. He's not even in the top 5 Yankees of all time, probably yet. People talk about him. Of course, everybody loves Derek Jeter. He was the face of baseball in the 2000s. Griffey was the face of baseball in the 90s, and then Jeter was the face of baseball in the 2000s. But let's see: Babe Ruth, DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, Mariano Rivera's on that list. Probably, they're all ahead of Jeter. Correct? Which I know, I know it. It's not like that's an insult to Jeter or anything. I mean, all of those guys are all-time greats. Obviously, it just kind of shows the deepness of the Yankees' legacy. But you could make the argument that all those guys, like if you made like a Yankees rank the Yankees all-time greats, that Jeter's not even in the top 5. That those guys are actually ahead of him. But there's more that goes into it than that, obviously. The fact that he was the face of baseball for close to a decade there, plays, a bunch into his legacy. He's a great player to go along with being like the face of the sport for a while there. So, I mean, that's part of what contributed to him getting the vote percentage that he did. Mariano Rivera obviously got the first one to get the unanimous vote. So
yeah,
at least they agreed that they felt like he was
absolutely
belonged. The whole thing kind of seems like a sham anyway. If Babe Ruth didn't get 100% of the vote, what the hell? Like how is there even Hall of Fame if 100% of the people didn't vote for Babe Ruth? So I don't know. Maybe the vote percentage. Maybe I shouldn't look that much into it. Maybe it shouldn't bother me that much.
It shouldn't.
Could you imagine? I'm looking at that Randy Johnson thing and the rumors that was going around about Randy Johnson getting traded to the Phillies. And if he would have been here with Curt Schilling and that whole staff.
Maybe we could have been the 0-1. Maybe we could have been 0-1 World Series champions.
Yeah, I think they were talking about trading him here in like 93 or so. But still.
That'd be something.
Back before Randy Johnson had quite become the dominant player that he was.
And he didn't get dominant until
mid-90s.
So, yeah, he was starting to warm up in like the early 90s when he got traded to Seattle.
Yeah, he still couldn't figure out how to control it until the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Then he started becoming really, really dominant once he was controlling. He had flashes of brilliance though before that.
Yeah. He just couldn't get it together. He just, with Montreal, he couldn't, like, the Expos didn't want to spend a bunch of time with him. They want to make him a project player. They wanted him right out of the fences.
The Expos, man, the things that they've messed up.
Yeah.
The things that they've messed up.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine. Hey, you know what I was watching recently? This is funny. I was watching a Yankees-Phillies game from 1999, where the Phillies had like a 7-run comeback. And then I was watching like those baseball highlights of some kind from back during that era. It was Phillies Braves from like the late 90s. I guess it was 99 because remember the Phillies were pretty good for that year for a little bit. They were right there in the playoff race for a lot of the year, going deep into the summer, and then they faded down the stretch. And I guess in like July or whatever, they got in this war with like the Braves. And apparently when they came to Philly in July, Paul Bird, one of the Phillies pitchers, hit the Braves catcher, Eddie Perez, at the time. And then like a week later, they were in Atlanta, and the same thing happened. Paul Bird hit Eddie Perez, and next thing you know, like a fight broke out. And there's like a massive brawl. And I found some old video on YouTube of it. And I was just like watching this like 15-minute massive brawl break out in an old Phillies Braves game. Because this is what the quarantine does to us. We have to find certain fixes like that to be able to deal with it. I'm over here. I Googled MLB ejections or YouTube MLB ejections so I could watch coaches get thrown out by umpires.
Umpires overreacting.
let's see. I was watching an old, like I think it was like a 1990. The one I was watching the one night was probably 97 or 98. Baseball Tonight episode, and John Smoltz got ejected. John Smoltz got thrown out of the game. Oh no, Bobby Cox got thrown out, which is a shocker.
Of course.
Bobby Cox, always get thrown out. But yeah, like John Smoltz do a close pitch. The umpire called it a ball, and he didn't like the call, so Bobby Cox came out to take him out after he allowed a hit. And Bobby Cox got thrown out, was going crazy. And I don't know why I was so entertained by this. I don't know why I was so entertained by this, but I was. It was like one of the most entertaining things to me.
Well, if you're reading the Iron Sheik's Twitter right now, he is not happy with WrestleMania.
He's very unhappy. What's going on in WrestleMania that's making the Iron Sheik so unhappy?
He says, "Goodbye, kayfabe. Go bleep yourself, WrestleMania."
Well, he's mad that kayfabe. Kayfabe has been going for a while.
Well, they brought back the SmackDown fist.
Did they?
In the Firefly Funhouse match.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. I'm not real sure.
This is getting weird.
It's getting weird?
I'm like reading all the Twitter feed, and it's getting weird. It's getting weirder and weirder by the minute. The puppets are getting involved. This is weird.
Well, you have to have it get night. But did you know it's not live?
Well, I know it's not live.
Yeah, I didn't know that until like this morning when I guess yesterday morning.
They taped everything.
Yeah, I read that they taped it all like a week ago.
Yeah, because
so disappointed.
It wouldn't make sense to do it live with no audience. I mean, look what happened when they did the live show when they did a 316 day. It looked like an episode of the Eric Andre show.
Eric Andre. He was the Geico caveman.
Was he?
Did you? Yeah, remember from the Geico caveman commercials?
Eric Andre was a Geico caveman.
Yeah, he was the Geico caveman. He was talking about it on Ridiculousness when he was a guest. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm going to have to drive to my job at Wawa to figure out if I work tomorrow.
Okay. Do you need to prep for that?
I don't need to. What? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Do you need to go to bed?
I don't even know if I work tomorrow. I said I just got to drive to my job to see if I work tomorrow. Jim Tomey. I'm getting all the most recent ones.
Oh, okay.
Vladimir Guerrero. I wonder if I could have just typed in Vlad. Frank Thomas. Yeah, I'm getting bored with this. So,
Oh, look,
too
the
many of
camera's
them.
back.
There's too many of them.
I know.
My camera's back.
Your camera's back from all that time.
Oh, how amazing!
Oh, and now it froze again. Oh no.
That's amazing.
I guess.
Yeah. So you said WrestleMania. There's what's going on WrestleMania?
Yeah. Apparently they had the puppets. They brought back the SmackDown fist, and Gronk won a title.
Let's Google it. Let's see what's going on.
Oh,
WrestleMania.
I know who you are, Mystery Match Switch Legend Field Mass Quadrant.
Wow.
I know who you are. Yeah, I know. I forgot what he went by. He went by like Poison something. He's a Blazers fan, angry at the GM.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gronkowski won the 24/7 championship.
Yeah. What did he go by? I don't remember, but I remember you. Nice seeing you again.
Here you go. Live updates. WrestleMania live updates. Let's see what's going on at the moment. So the Fiend has beaten Cena, apparently.
Oh, wonderful.
Fiend beat Cena. He held him down with the mandible claw and pinned him, ending what this says is the most bizarre and amazing match in WWE history.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
What is going on now? Well, they have Cena in New World Order stuff. What is going on?
Yeah, because Wyatt showed up in NWO gear for a Monday Nitro segment. Because they were doing all types of weird shit. Like he was pretty much cutting promos throughout the match in the Firefly Funhouse. Like it was apparently that weird.
Cena as the prototype. What is going on? All right then. I'm gonna check that out. So yeah.
Does sound very. It looks like he has a Vince McMahon puppet. This is very weird. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it is a very weird match.
I am going to watch this.
Yeah, it seems like a very weird match, and I'm not sure what I think of it. I might have to watch it before I come to a decision.
Yes.
And is my camera still frozen?
Your camera is still frozen.
This is lovely.
So, yeah, what do you want to do with that?
I guess we're gonna have to get off and just call it a night at this point.
Okay.
But I mean, it's like, that's disappointing.
So
how do we not have a camera?
I don't know. It's your internet.
It's my internet.
It's your internet.
And your conclusion,
computer. What is your conclusion?
Do you miss the NHL playoffs more than anything else at this time of year?
I miss normalcy.
You miss normalcy. Well, that normalcy in your house doesn't really exist. That's not really a thing. Your house is crazy. I've been there. I've seen it firsthand.
Well, your house was crazy too. So
yeah, I know, but I don't live at my house anymore. I've moved away from that madness. I'm sure your mom being home with the dog and I'm sure all of that is just chaotic.
No, not really.
No.
Interesting. No, we're all doing our jobs.
Oh, well, yeah. So your parents are still teaching through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know. I know my mom's still working because she's got the medical thing, but I don't think they brought any of those dancing. Remember those dancing Christmas puppets that she used to have? I don't think they brought any of them with them down here from New Jersey, so I don't think we have to worry about that anymore.
Okay. So what are we brought to you by?
I don't know. You were supposed to know that. I don't.
You're the host of the show. You're supposed to do it.
Yeah, but I don't know who our sponsors are. I don't know who sponsors us anymore.
Well, we're sponsored by Specialized Physical Therapy. We have 3 locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. And we're also brought to you by the Gutter Guys over at Ambuck Services. If you mentioned that Tom and the rest of the HUD radio crew, they will give you a nice little discount on gutter repairs and deck restorations. You can give them a call at 856-979-5530.
See, there you go. See, I would have started reading off an ad of like somebody that doesn't even sponsor us anymore.
No.
somebody that doesn't even belong. I'm giving plugs to people that don't even deserve them. That would have been bad.
Fly well.
Yeah, it would have been awful. Yeah, I don't have a list of our new sponsors, so.
You need to make a nice little text message then.
Oh, is that what I need to do?
Yes, you need to ask the boss himself.
Oh, okay. Since you say so.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've got to go to Wawa. I got to check my schedule for this week.
And I'm going to find the Firefly Funhouse match. So
yeah, you're going to go Google the Firefly, whatever the hell, Firehouse match. That would be a great one. They should just have like a match in like a fire, like people sliding down the pole, kicking each other and shit. That'd be fucking awesome. Okay. The Firefly Funhouse match.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
I will.
Yeah. I might come home and watch the most recent AEW episode. That might be what I do.
Okay.
But if I have to work tomorrow, obviously, I'm going to have to come home and go to sleep. I've got no choice.
Gotcha.
So have fun with your Firefly Funhouse match.
All right. You say goodbye to everyone.
God, they can't see me, so.
Well, just say something nice to the viewer.
Something nice to the viewer. Are you joining me next Sunday on the rundown?
I don't know what my schedule's going to be like. It's Easter.
Okay. Oh, is it? I forgot next Sunday is Easter.
Next Sunday is Easter, so I'm going to be hanging out with Bunny.
There you go.
I'll be hanging out with the Easter Bunny and Jesus. So
I'm going to have to find a bunny to hang out with. I don't know if I'm going to have a bunny.
She's next. She's in the other room.
Okay. Yeah, we could dress her up in a bunny costume.
Yes.
I'm going to parade her around the neighborhood in a bunny costume. It'll be hilarious.
Okay.
And then we'll live stream it to HUD.
Good luck with that. All right.
Deuces, Frank, say goodbye to all the followers, the HUD listeners.
Goodbye, and we'll see you next. Hopefully you'll see this guy, hopefully with a functioning camera next Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully my camera works next Sunday.
Yeah,
that'll be the big thing.
All right.
I'm just going to leave the studio. Do I have to stop my cam first?
Well, first let me hit end broadcast.
Yeah, that'll help.
And then you can do that. So we'll see.
Okay.
You'll see him next Sunday.
Or maybe you won't. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.